drink a glass of milk before going to bed. Another person might get up each morning and have a cup of coffee or nothing at all. One person might sing while taking a shower. Another might instead sing in the rain. Every person and every culture has its unique human eloquence and way of doing things. Besides individual customs or traditions, there are also the collective habits of a culture. For example, Christians generally go to church on Sunday. Islamics fast for Ramadan. Jews generally attend synagogue and rest every Saturday. So this brings us to a question. Is an individual custom or collective tradition or interpretation wrong or bad for those that want to believe in Yeshua? The answer of the written Torah. 2. A tradition of man must not be legislated into a law, nor must it be passed off, taught with no embarrassment that the Mosaic law has been done away with, and with the coming of Jesus, and for Christians it is taught a thing of the past. Not only does this teaching break more than one commandment of the written law of Moses, but it also elevates many of the collective traditions of men, saying or implying that they are commandments of God. This includes worship of God on Sunday, celebrating festivals like Easter and Christmas, partaking in traditional Christmas and Easter dinners that include ham as the main course, as is done primarily in America, posting pictures of Jesus on a wall, wearing a cross of Jesus around one's neck, hanging crosses with or without a Jesus icon attached to it, and songs to Jesus Christ and the Holy Spirit, and the list goes on. For Jews, it is commonly taught that the Mosaic law cannot be understood as is, and needs a rabbinic filter to be properly understood. The filter is referred to as the oral law, an unwritten and supposed second revelation of divine law given to Moses. The oral law of Judaism is like a very broad and very wide road. You will learn about this in the upcoming chapters of this book. It is a body of rabbinic teaching that defines precisely how to interpret the written commandments of Moses. In the oral law, you will find detailed instructions on how to relieve yourself, go to the bathroom, how to pray, and exactly what to say. The oral law turns the synagogue into a makeshift Beit HaMikdash, a temple. It turns your dining room table into an altar. The oral law tells you exactly how to live your life every day according to how the rabbis want you to live, and the list goes on with huge volumes of rules and regulations that define normative Jewish behavior and culture. In summary, if traditions within the framework of New Testament belief, 1. break a commandment of the written Torah, or 2. are cultural traditions of men passed off as commandments from God, then we need to reevaluate the practice or practices according to the written Hebrew Bible and jettison what is false. If this means an individual or cultural custom or tradition has to be removed because it will stumble us in our walk of truth, then so be it. At this time in my life, this is the position that I am taking, and it is a position reflected in the upcoming chapters of this book. Oral transmission versus oral law. Concerning Jewish rabbinic oral law and authority, let us get our definitions straight so that there will be no future misunderstandings. The Hebrew Bible as we know it began orally, meaning that its divine truth was transmitted by mouth from the Creator to His creation. Adam and Hava were orally given laws and parameters for their lives, what they could and could not do while in the garden. Similarly, Noah knew the differences between clean and unclean laws regarding people and animals. Abraham came to understand, through divine oral transmission, the eternal plan of man's redemption and promises to his descendants. Both Isaac and Jacob heard the voice of the Almighty speaking instructions, laws, and promises to them. Moses on Mount Sinai received by way of oral transmission the laws that all Israel is required to do and obey, and later they were committed to writing. Joshua, the elders of Israel, and the prophets all received oral communications from the voice of the Divine and Holy One. In the New Testament, even Yeshua did not write down commandments. Rather, he taught them orally and trained his students to teach others by actions and words. Was all this what the rabbis called the oral law? No. So then what is the oral law? The transmission of instructions and regulations for conduct, law, by the mouth of Elohim that I just presented to you in the paragraph above are not the same thing as the oral law of the rabbis. Therefore, do not become confused when some people use the term oral law. What you must know is that exact definitions are everything. Ask any lawyer engaged in contract law. Similarly, the oral law of the rabbis is all about definitions, as you will come to learn about in the upcoming chapters. According to Rabbinic Judaism, the oral law, as it has come to be understood, was a special second revelation of divine law given in addition to what Moses was commanded to write down when he first heard it from the mouth of Yehovah. The body of rabbinic law called the oral law is an official interpretation of the written Torah, and it is said to be divinely sanctioned. Only rabbis and officially trained scholars have the right to interpret the written commandments, and it does not matter if it reforms, changes, restructures, adds to, or takes away from what was originally put to writing by Moses and Joshua. This gives birth to the concept of rabbinic authority. By decree of the oral law, all Israel is obligated to obey the rabbis. There are no ifs, ands, or buts about it. As it is taught by the rabbis, and you will also learn this in the upcoming chapters, if anyone disobeys the rabbis, then it is the same as disobeying God, plain and simple. Essentially, what Catholicism is to Christianity, Rabbinism is to Judaism. For Jews, Rabbinism is a Catholic church, not in theology, but in structure. Anti-Semitism and or hate for Jews. After you finish reading this book, it is possible that you may feel as though I have some axe to grind with Jews, and that I have become a hater of all Jewish culture and religion, a hater of the rabbis, and perhaps even reflecting the sad characteristics of a self-hating Jew. I assure you that none of this is true. Rather, I would say this: I love the written Torah and all that it stands for. I love Yehovah and all that he has asked us to do. I love Jerusalem, the city of the great King. I love the land of Israel, the promised inheritance for all 12 tribes of Jacob who will walk according to the written law. I love the people of Israel and the Jewish people of Judah, all of whom are my people, but are like wandering sheep without a shepherd. I love and appreciate all Gentiles because they are tenderly spoken about in many Tanakh prophecies that are yet to be fulfilled. And yes, I even love the rabbis, who are my Jewish brethren, and in fact the neighbor that I'm commanded to love, according to Leviticus 19:17 through 18. But I do not like the religious system that they have created and imposed upon all Jews. Like all Israel that was cast into exile for their idolatry, the Rabbinites also need to abandon their idolatry and come back to Yehovah's written word and stop adulterating it, even if it means getting thrown out of the synagogue, as Yeshua said. They, those who elevate the oral law above the written law, will make you outcast from the synagogue, but an hour is coming for everyone who kills you to think that he is offering service to Elohim. If you wish to submit to rabbinic authority, especially because you want to identify with the rabbinic culture of Judah and with most Jewish communities worldwide, or you have some other agenda that I have not mentioned here, then you are free to do according to your own conscience. Just do not think that what you choose to do is, quote, authentic Judaism, because it is not. Today's Judaism is a religion built on a foundation of sand. Authentic Judaism is a way of life built on the rock of Yehovah's written commandments. Submitting to the authority of the Rabbinites and their official interpretations contained in the commandments of men is not life, it is death. Rabbi Nachman of Breslov, who lived in the years 1772 to 1810, reflecting on the burdens of the Jewish religion, said that often his daily obligations felt like a crushing burden. But in order to get through it all, he would wake up every morning and convince himself that everything was fine,